Walking you through my first reaction. So this is my first live reaction of the tool. I haven't used it before, so there may be some features that I'm unfamiliar with, and I may get a few things wrong, but I'll try to just walk you through the different features that I have seen it have and tell you what I think about them. I think it can definitely be very helpful to you in your projects. So let's take a look. Selectors Hub is a tool that you can use to auto-generate CSS and XPath selectors, and it gives you suggestions as to the XPath and CSS selectors that are available as you are typing them. So to find this, you can go to selectorshub.com. You have options to download for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Opera. And this is something that was created by Sanjay Kumar. He also created CrowPath. Selectors Hub have a Slack channel that you can join. You can leave a review, you can join the community. And he has detailed tutorials on his YouTube channel that you can check out about it as well. A quick comparison between Selectors Hub and the other tools. So he created CrowPath, and we have Chrome Dev Tools and their other extensions. Selectors Hub auto suggests the locator functions while typing, like a smart editor. It supports shadow DOM while the others don't. You can generate relative CSS selectors. It has a feature to copy selectors from context menu without opening DevTools. You're able to customize the context menu that you're seeing, and it provides you with proper error messaging for invalid format and missing elements. We're definitely going to try this one out. It gives you the option to customize UI. It supports SVG, iframe, relative XPath, relative JS. You can generate relative CSS selector with user attribute, and it supports multiple browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Opera, and it provides live support for users. This looks really interesting, and I'm very excited to dive into it. This is my first reaction of it. This is the first time I'll be using the tool, but it looks good so far, and I have been hearing a lot of good things about it, so I'm really excited to go ahead and try it out. And this is the 2.0 version. So I'm currently on Chrome, so let me download the Chrome version. Takes me to the Chrome web store. I can add Chrome. And it adds it to it. Click the extension, quality CSS selector, JS path. And Sanjay is a full-time Selectors Hub maintainer, so if you are interested, you can support him by becoming a patron here, or you can donate to PayPal or Paytm. So instructions: after installing Selectors Hub, restart the browser, open DevTools by pressing F12, or right-click anywhere on the web page, click on Inspect. On the right side of the Elements tab, Selectors Hub will be the last tab as shown in below image. If not visible, expand the sidebar. If auto-suggest doesn't work while typing, open new website in new tab. Don't try on blank tab. There should be a URL in the address bar. And there are some more frequently asked questions here. It's absolutely free and it gives you detailed steps on how to use it. Alright, so let's go ahead and restart our browser. So I'm going to open up my last two tabs that I had. So I'm here on the site and I'm going to right click and Selectors Hub comes up here. And I have the option to just quickly copy the relative XPath. So if I do that, I see an XPath, which is div class element. Let me check what the CSS selector would be. That seems a bit long. So let me inspect this. And if I command F, I have an H3 here. So I could have said dot Elementor hyphen heading hyphen title. Okay, so there are 9 of those. I assume that's why it didn't just immediately give me that one. Okay, but if I use this one that was given to me here, it would find it. So this would be the element. So it gives you the class here and then that. I'm wondering if I couldn't have just used dot there and then h3 dot yeah, and that would have found it instead of that really long CSS that we had here. Okay, but let's continue checking this out. There should be an option to say Selectors Hub here, and so if I say that, it says H3, and so once I am doing XPath and I enter that square bracket, it provides me with all the different selectors that I can use, and I like this. So it appears to be telling me that 1 indicates it's a unique selector, and 3 means that there are 3 elements that contains that. So if you aren't really good with XPath, this will help you to find it. So these are similar. So it's saying Selectors Hub, which is a text, unique text on the page. Same with this one. The starts with, contains text. All of those would find it. So if I do that, then I can come here and it would be found. I also am able to double click, I think, or click here and I have copied the value. So if I no longer want to use that one and I want to use this one, if I copy the selector value here, I can paste it there. It also immediately shows me the JS path, class name, relative XPath, relative selector. So it gives me a lot of options that I can use, and all these options are auto-generated. If I want to use CSS, so if I say H3, then it will just give me H3 here. If I say dot, it will tell me there. So the selector that I had found would have been dot, then dot, h3 dot, Elementor heading title. So my element before was this Elementor element. So if I do this, right, right, it found one element. But what if I say h3 dot? Does it then find this? It does find it, but it's not suggesting it to me. But it does say that the element matches. Let's try something else. Let's try this. So if I copy the relative CSS selector of this, it's going to look very long. It's going to say all of this thing here. If I right click and I inspect, automatically gives me some suggestions here that I can use. So the class name Elementor button text is not unique. Neither is a tag name because there's 105 of them. But the relative XPath is unique. So but I'm wondering why when I generated, what did I generate here? I generated copy relative XPath, right? Why when I generated the relative XPath, it did not give this to me? So this is here, and I've found the element. And if I come here, I also find the element. What I'm not sure how that works is this copy here. It seems to be giving me something completely different than what is being auto-generated here. I'll just stick to using the things that are auto-generated here, as this seems to be working really well to me so far. I like the options that it gives to me where it tells me the uniqueness of the elements. So let's say I want to say all that contains, right? Automatically brings up the contains text for me, brings up the text for me as well, which is good. And these are other options that you can use. So I would probably use this one or this one. But in the event that there exists some other thing that says Chrome, I think this one could work as well. Right? And once I touch it, it automatically goes there. So what if I'm typing some XPath and I say contains So if I type something incorrect, it tells me what's incorrect about it. So it says invalid XPath after / only dot asterisk and tag name allowed. So the correct XPath for this would be all that contains text Chrome. So I would need to put the all here. If I have that, it's going to tell me after / only dot. So it's checking the syntax for XPath. So if it is that you're unsure about creating XPath, it will help you with that. Try asterisk, that works, and that provides me with that selector. It also mentioned that it works with iframes. So let's try some iframes by going to the Internet Heroku app. And we're going to go to frames. So we have an iframe here, and this is the iframe here. So we're going to inspect, click on Selectors Hub, and it says immediately iframe selector. It recognizes that you're in an iframe. If I do that and enter, it says 0 element matching. But if I go in here, then it says 1 of 1, right? And it also picks up that it's in an iframe. So it says in iframe here. There's an ID here, TinyMCE, that I am expecting it to pick up as well. So let me do the relative CSS selector. You see it picks up that ID that was there in the iframe. And it says 1 element matching. Okay, so that's good. Also mentioned shadow DOM. So let's go to the shadow DOM here. If we right click and inspect the shadow root, we see this. We click on it. Selectors Hub realizes that we're inside the shadow DOM, and it gives us some options. Relative CSS selector. The element is inside shadow DOM, and for such elements, XPath won't support. So it tells you that XPath does not support shadow DOM elements, only relative CSS selectors. It gives you the name. So as if you look here, you can see a name that's unique. So if I click on that, it says my text. So if I say relative CSS selector, it should say slot. If I say slot here, there's only one in the shadow root though. Okay. So it supports shadow DOM, it supports relative CSS selectors, it supports iframe, relative XPath, relative JS, different browsers. So my thoughts on it so far, I like it. Only thing that I had a concern with was some of the auto-generated XPath that it gave, and CSS, it was really long. In particular, when I did the copy relative XPath here, it was very long for me, and it's not a file, and I didn't really like that. Same with the CSS, it was very long. And if I did an inspect and I went to Selectors Hub, it still gave me those same long things. I just noticed that there is a warning here. Class looks dynamic. Okay, I assume because of the auto-generated seemingly numbers here. Class looks dynamic. Uncheck the class checkbox or delete the class attribute from attribute box to generate relative XPath without class if it is generated with class. So if I take off class here, oh, it gives me some selectors that would break without that class. But what I was expecting from the XPath was something like how it was towards the end of it. So not where it says contains normalized text, because if I do this, then I assume that it's going to find multiple, so 64 elements. But if it said text here, and then here it said H3, which this is the only H3 Selectors Hub that it had at the moment. And if we wanted to be more unique, we could have used the div right here. or some other div to append to it to make it more unique. But this long CSS selector and XPath, that's the only thing that I personally didn't like about it. Otherwise, it works great and has some good features. So there's an option here that says set driver command to append on selectors, and if I click it, it gives you an option to enter driver command and keep XPath value as keyword in the command. Not sure how to use that, but it gives you some instructions on how to do so. For example, find by, and you put in the XPath equal whatever the value of the XPath is. Okay, so can I say find by, and what did it say again? XPath equal XPath value. Oh, so it's using this XPath value to populate this here. There's also another option here to remove the set attribute thing. So you can remove things, you can click to reset value. There's also some things here. So join Telegram group, join LinkedIn group, Facebook group, click to share on Twitter, follow on Instagram, tells you the version number. You can open the home page, click to learn more about Sanjay Kumar here. This is his LinkedIn. You can also download for other browsers, watch video tutorial, learn more about XPath and CSS selector functions. So it also mentioned that it supported SVG, so you can check out that option as well. It has a Selector Hub Slack channel, and before raising issues, please check out the frequently asked questions, and then you can raise your issues on the GitHub and you can review it. This is it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Try it out. Let Sanjay know what your feedback is. If it is that you want any fixes or additional features, you can contact him using the information provided in this video. Support him on Patreon and try it out in your different projects and spread the word about it. I think it's a good tool that can be helpful to a lot of persons, especially those that are just getting started finding locators. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.